Good evening. Board President Boswell, trustees, Superintendent Segura, thank you for the opportunity to present the results of our cost savings audit. My name is Greg Gibson, President of Gibson Consulting Group. Our firm is honored to serve as the internal audit function for Austin ISD. I am joined by Ali Tailan, our firm's Chief Information Officer and Senior Technology Consultant, who also served as the project's director. We would like to thank the administration for their efforts in supporting this work, particularly for providing us a vast amount of data, and we thank the Board Audit Committee for overseeing this important work. This presentation will address the objectives and scope of our work, provide a summary of savings opportunities, and discuss the major elements of each opportunity. We will also be present at the upcoming board meeting to address any questions you might have. The objective of this audit was to identify major cost savings opportunities to help Austin ISD address its projected budget deficit for fiscal year 2026. This audit is unique in several aspects. Unlike our other audits, there are no audit findings or recommendations. This information was considered by the administration in developing its own list of cost savings recommendations. Also, while we independently conducted our own analysis, we worked collaboratively with the administration to discuss specific cost savings opportunities as directed by the Board Audit Committee. This project began in August 2024 and was completed in March 2025. There were 4 major phases of our approach: project planning, data analysis, site work, and reporting. As part of our data analysis, we developed a data dashboard that will be given to the administration to support budget planning and efficiency measurement in future years. During site work, we interviewed the senior leadership, and we were pleased to see how engaged they were not only with our work, but also their independent work to identify cost savings opportunities for the district. In December, we submitted a draft report to the administration for their review and comment, and later to the Board Audit Committee for their review. A few clarification points. We used fall snapshot PEMS data for all staffing data. Today, the fiscal year 2025 data captured in the fall likely looks different from the October 29th snapshot date. These differences could impact savings estimates. Also, most of our analytical work was completed in December before state and local governments began to deliberate or make decisions that could influence the fiscal year 2026 deficit. Some of the opportunities we identified are less susceptible to these changes than others. Our assessment of this susceptibility is reflected in the full report. So now we'll discuss the specific cost savings opportunities. This table presents a summary of those opportunities along with the estimated general fund savings and an indicator of long-term and short-term viability. We believe that even though some of the savings may not be realistically achieved in fiscal year 2026, we believe the district should consider taking a deeper dive immediately for 2 reasons. 1, it will take more time to complete the work on long-term opportunities, and 2, external events may prompt quicker action or prompt more aggressive efforts to potentially increase these savings estimates. The total annual estimated savings of the identified opportunities is $63.1 million. On the following slides, we will discuss each of these opportunities. First is school consolidation. The graph you see displays the average number of students per school for Austin ISD and 6 other peer districts. With the exception of Fort Worth ISD, Austin has the lowest average number of students per school than the other peers. Peer districts were selected based on similar attributes or proximity to Austin ISD. Austin ISD has a higher number of smaller, older schools similar to Fort Worth. Other peer districts grew decades later and at a more rapid pace and accordingly have larger schools. While small schools have long been cherished by Austin communities, larger schools allow districts to enjoy economies of scale and be more efficient in their spending. Austin ISD's declining enrollment over the past 7 years, from approximately 80,000 to 70,000 students, has also contributed to significant underutilization in many of its school facilities, large and small. The savings potential is significant at both elementary and middle school levels. Estimated savings at elementary schools are calculated by applying the difference in operating expenditures per student between larger schools having 500 or more students to smaller schools less than 500 students. Austin ISD's larger schools have operating expenditures per student that are $1,677 less than those of smaller elementary schools. By multiplying this difference by the number of students in smaller schools, the estimated annual savings could reach approximately $30.1 million a year. The same methodology was applied to middle schools. The difference in average operating expenditures per student between larger middle schools, 750 or more students, and smaller schools, less than 750 students, is $2,883. This difference, multiplied times the number of students in smaller middle schools, could yield annually recurring savings of $13.5 million. Combined, the annual savings from school consolidation could reach $43.6 million. Disposal of portables. Austin ISD has a large number of portable buildings it no longer needs. Portables are intended to provide temporary space for growing districts or for student relocation during construction or renovation projects. Austin ISD has 535 portables, of which 305, or 57%, are located on campuses that have less than 85% utilization. By eliminating these 305 portables, $1.7 million could be saved annually from lower electricity costs and custodial costs. Indirect cost recovery. Indirect cost recovery allows the general fund to be reimbursed for costs it incurs to support federally funded programs. These costs may include administrative and, in some cases, operational costs that support these programs. The district applies an indirect cost rate for certain administrative costs, called the restricted rate, to federal programs such as Title I as allowed by law. School districts are also allowed to apply a higher rate that includes certain operational costs. This is called the unrestricted rate. And that can be applied to school nutrition services. At Austin ISD, the district applies only the lower rate. By doing so, the district provides but does not get reimbursed for approximately $2 million of services a year that it incurs for the benefit of the school nutrition program. All federal programs charge the applicable maximum indirect cost rate with the exception of student nutrition services. Now I'm going to turn it over to Ali to cover the remaining opportunities.
Thank you, Greg. Master scheduling efficiency. Master scheduling is a complex process of creating a schedule for a school that specifies classes, teachers, and other instructional resources during the school day. Many factors influence the master schedule, including student interests, student needs, course offerings, class size limits, and teacher capacity. All schools have a master schedule, but because secondary students change classes each period, master scheduling at these schools is much more complex. Austin ISD uses its student information system to enter the master schedules, but the process for creating it, along with the decision rules applied, varies across schools. There is no district-wide process for creating a master schedule that will help ensure schedule optimization. By analyzing the number of general education and bilingual class teachers serving less than 15 students in elementary schools and less than 15 students in one or more secondary general education classes, potential savings could be estimated. As you can see on the slide, certain types of schools, Tier 1 and Tier 2, reflecting higher needs, and programs such as special education were excluded from the analysis. 28 Tier 3 and Tier 4 elementary schools had teachers serving less than 15 students, ranging from 2% to 26% of the teachers on a particular campus. 15 Tier 3 and Tier 4 secondary schools had teachers serving less than 15 students during one or more periods, ranging from 10% to 52% to teachers on a particular campus. Overall, 329 elementary and secondary teachers served less than 15 students for at least a portion of the day. To conservatively account for other variables that could affect decisions to increase class size, a 33% probability factor was applied to estimate annual savings. These calculations are explained in full report and result in an estimated $9.2 million of annual general fund savings. Senior management positions. Our work included the analysis of senior leadership positions in Austin ISD, which are defined as the top third layer of the district's organizational chart. This slide shows the major senior leadership positions other than superintendent position. We analyzed the number of full-time equivalent staff for these positions over the past 7 years. Positions with the word director in it, associate director, assistant director, director, and executive director, stood out among the other positions. The chart on the following page shows the number of FTEs in these director positions over the past 7 years. From 2018-19 to 2023-24, the number of FTEs in positions with the word director in it increased from 65 to 114, then decreased to 107 FTEs in 2024-25. The net increase of 42 FTEs over 7 years reflects a 64.6% increase. This also occurred during a time when student enrollment declined by approximately 10,000 students. Further research showed that much of the increase was due to promotions of existing staff. This notwithstanding, we have a significantly larger director count than we had 7 years ago, reflecting much lower senior administrative efficiency relative to the student population. To estimate the fiscal impact of reducing the number of director positions, we applied the 2018-19 ratio of students to director position FTEs, then multiply the ratio by the number of students in 2024-25. By applying average director salary and benefits, annual general fund savings is estimated to be $6.6 million. This concludes our presentation. We will be present at the upcoming board meeting to address any questions you might have about this work. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you again for allowing us to perform this important work.